Welcome back, KM11. Again, we're still doing distance learning. I'm going to keep this video more brief than the doubting clause video. I want to go over the first paragraph of the Neoptolemus, the Bow of Heracles, and the Palladium. So take a moment and make sure you have that out so you can take notes while we go over the grammar. We'll obviously discuss more during our conference and do the second paragraph as well. So I'll give you a moment. Go take your notes out. The reading. All right, welcome back. So we went through a bunch of this in the conference, so it might not take too long, and I certainly appreciate all your participation in the conference here. When tomorrow, obviously, we'll have first period class again. So if we start here, remember it's bello ad hoc forente. That first part is an ablative absolute, bello being an ablative noun, war, forente being a present active participle in the ablative, and ad hoc is just the adverb still. So that's an ablative absolute, that right there, with the war still raging. Remember, there's two verbs that we have in our vocab list here. You have the first, which is furor, furare, which is what we have here, which means to rage. Think of the English word fury. And then furor, furari, which is a deponent verb. Think of the word furtive, like a thief, like a fur. That means thief. So with the war still waging, Calpus, the great soothsayer, that's the subject, the nominative subject, the great prophet, what did he do? Stetted. He stood perfectly in castris, in the ablative camp. Now notice I translated singularly, right? There's one Greek camp, but it's a weird Latin verb that is grammatically plural, but you translate it singularly. The only time you would ever really translate it plurally is if it was modified by a noun that singulated plurality, like a number, two camps, three camps, or many camps, or something like that. But so he stood in the camp and said, and now we have a direct quotation. Necesse est impersonal verb. And if you remember, you kind of have this like triangle of things with impersonal verbs. You have the impersonal verb itself, necesse est, and then necesse est takes a dative and then an infinitive. So it is necessary for a dative thing to do an infinitive. So it is necessary for whom? Nobis. For us. That's the dative. The pronoun, it's just the first person plural pronoun in the ablative. It is necessary for us. And then you can go through, you can mark the three infinitives. It's necessary for us invenire, to find, uti, to use, and furari, to steal. So all three of those are infinitives, and in fact, all three of those infinitives are active, despite the fact uti and furari look passive, right? They're deponent. So it is necessary, nobis, for dative us, to do what? To find the accusative son, filium, the direct object, filium, the direct object of the infinitive, to find what? To find the filium of genitive Achilles. Uti, to use. And I think Gina in class reminded us that arku takes the ablative. Remember, you don't use a direct object. It's an intransitive verb. So if you had a parse arku, you would say that it's ablative with the intransitive verb or ablative with the verb. To use the bow, to make use of the ablative bow of Hercules, and there's a whole backstory we'll talk about here. This bow is on an island called Lemnos with Philoctetes. And furari, to steal the Palladium, the accusative Palladium. So the Palladium is this statue of Minerva that they had to steal from, they had to take from Troy. So again, it is necessary for us, dative us, to find the accusative son of genitive Achilles, to use the ablative bow of genitive Hercules, and to steal the accusative direct object Palladium. Hopefully that makes sense. Next part, sine his, just a prepositional phrase. Without these ablative plural things, his meaning all three things that were just mentioned, the bow of Heracles and the son of Achilles and the Palladium. His being a demonstrative pronoun in the ablative plural. It's the object of sine. Without these, moriemur, future tense, first plural. We will die. We will die in loco ipso, where in the very place, in this very place, in the self same place, in the place itself. The ipso is an intensive, meaning in the place we're at right now, in this very place, right? Where we're going to die on the shore here. Atque and Dardani, which is another way to say Trojan. And the Trojans will in the future laugh. So in that sentence, you have sine his, without these, meaning the things that Calchas dictated they needed to get. We will die in the place itself, meaning where they're standing, where they are. And the nominative plural Dardani and the nominative plural Trojans will in the future laugh. Then we have this next part is going to have an indirect command, which is one of our new grammatical constructions, right? So the first part, the first word we have is audivit, heard. Who heard? Agamemnon. Nominative Agamemnon heard. Heard what? Haec verba. These accusative plural words, meaning the words that Calchas just spoke. Nominative Agamemnon perfectly indicatively heard, actively, haec verba. These accusative words. And what did he do? He ordered. Now, if we were to know who he ordered or whom he ordered, that would be the dative. We don't have he ordered so and so. He ordered. What did he order? Ut. Imperavit plus ut. You should have radar going off. This is an indirect command, right? He's ordering them to do something. In English, we have indirect commands are normally infinitives in English, right? He ordered somebody to do something. But in Latin, he ordered that something subjunctively happened, right? He ordered that omnia, everything, all the nominative plural things. It's called a substantive adjective, right? It's not really modifying anything per se, but it's just saying everything, meaning haec verba, these words, everything that he said. Omnia, all the things, everything, que, which is relative pronoun modifying omnia. Omnia. So we know that it's neuter and it's plural because omnia is neuter plural, its case is from how it's used in the relative clause. It's actually accusative in the relative clause because it's which nominative Calchas had perfectly said, and he ordered everything which Calchas had said adjarentur to be done. That's the subjunctive adjarentur, and if you inspect that, you're going to see that it's imperfect, it's subjunctive, it's third, it's plural, and it's passive. So he ordered imperavit ut that, if you take out the relative clause, he ordered that everything be done, that everything might be done. And then you just have to make sure that relative's in there. He ordered that everything which Calchas had said to be done or might be done. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to stop there. I don't want to make the videos too long since we're going to have, our time together, first period tomorrow. So please make sure that you're going through these things. Again, we're going to figure out a way to assess your work to make sure that we're keeping you on task. At this point, I'm kind of trusting you as being academically mature, you're juniors and academically independent, and you are eventually going to have to take exams and stuff. So obviously, I will have homework for you. I will have grammatical homework. I'll have some cultural homework, and we'll make sure to keep you on task. But try to stay unpanicked and wash your hands and practice social distancing, whatever else dictates come out. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. And buona fortuna. Good luck. Valete.